Hello and welcome. I'm Karishma and I'm your host for the It's Not Selfish podcast. I have a very special guest today, so let's get into it. Lauren Thomas, welcome to the It's Not Selfish podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Have you heard Alex Cooper call her daddy?
Yes.
So she does that intro. She goes, Lauren Thomas, welcome to her podcast name. And so I was like, let me try it.
I love it. It actually worked very well.
It was the first time trying.
It sounded very natural to me. Keep doing it.
Yeah. So thank you for being here. So backstory, Lauren and I know each other from her days at Restore Hyper Wellness.
Yep.
And she used to work there, and I was staying very close to that location in Austin. And I would go in every week for IVs, and then we would just like spill tea and just talking.
It was so much fun.
That was so much fun. Those were the easy days, it felt like.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is if you think about it, I met you at the beginning of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was actually a time that it was like weird to navigate.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know what was going on.
It was like right before, too.
Yeah. And so it was easy days, but at the same time, it was also like think about it. It was days that we didn't know what was next or what, you know.
It was a scary time.
It was. But you made it so much better.
So did you. We'd always be like, what's going to happen tomorrow?
I know. It was
know.
so weird. It was a weird time.
It was a really weird time. So tell us, I like my guests to introduce themselves.
Okay.
So what do you do? Why did you move to Austin?
Okay.
And who's Lauren Thomas?
Who's Lauren Thomas? Oh, gosh. So I am Canadian. I'm from Canada. I grew up in Canada, went to university up in Canada at a school called McMaster University. That's in Hamilton, Ontario. And I went to nursing school there, so I have my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. And then once I was done nursing school, I was like, this is the time for me to move and explore with this career that gives me the opportunity to move around. So I think I was 21, and I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm moving to Austin, Texas. I didn't know like anyone here. I had one friend here in Austin.
Why Austin?
I had been coming to Austin during high school. My dad had a job here, so we would come here for like vacations and stuff. So I was like familiar with the city, and like I was sick of the cold up in Canada.
Yeah.
And then like I knew Austin had great weather.
Yeah. Kind of. Like, that's summertime.
Like the summer, but the winter didn't get any snow for the most part.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, why the heck not? Like, I may as well do this, because if I don't do it now, then I'm never gonna move.
Damn,
so
21.
Looking back, I'm like, what was I thinking?
So young.
I was so young. Like, I didn't know anything.
But also so brave. I would have never left my house. I left my house at 25 and I was scared.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it now, I don't think.
You're like, I don't recommend.
10 out of 10, don't recommend. No. I definitely do recommend it, because I wouldn't be right now. But so I moved here, and that was back in 2017, and I just started this life in Austin. I was making like, I think I was making like $2,500 a month. I didn't own a car. I was taking the public transit system to and from work. I worked night shift, so I lived North Austin. I worked South Austin.
Oh my God.
I would take the public transportation system, the bus, down to like where the university is. I would transfer onto another bus to get me all the way south. So it would take me like over an hour to get south for my night shift. And then once my 12-hour night shift would be done at the hospital, I would take the bus all the way back north, sleep, get up, do it again. Yeah, and I was making like shillings. And
you're working at an ER, right?
Yeah.
At that time?
Yeah. So those were hard days. But it's like funny to look back at, like, that I did all of that and like where I am now. So humbling.
So, well, that is crazy.
Like,
just that drive from north to south. I'm finally learning where everywhere is in Austin. It's insane.
It's crazy. And like I remember I'd be taking the city bus, Karishma, and I didn't even have a cell phone that worked. Like I didn't have a data plan or anything. And so I would use the Wi-Fi on the bus to like text people. But then like once I got to the bus station near the hospital, I would have to like walk from the bus station to the hospital, and I wouldn't have like any data to like text or call
Just
anyone.
in case.
Like no. Like even if I wanted to call 911, I wouldn't be.
Oh my God.
So like looking back, I'm like, ugh, that's probably not the smartest thing to do, but
But you did it.
I did it.
And then what happened after that was done, that path?
So I did 2 years in the ER, and I was like, this is exhausting for so many reasons.
Yeah.
I was able to eventually afford to buy a car, got a car that changed my life.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I need something that is slower paced. It was hard seeing like all the sick people in the ER for obvious reasons. But then also working night shift was just like taxing on your body after a while.
And your mental health.
Oh,
all of
gosh.
that, emotional, mental.
Oh my gosh, it was rough. So after that, that's when I actually found Restore, and you know, did lead nursing there, did the IVs and stuff there, and I really fell in love with the whole like biohacking, like optimizing your body.
I know you
type
taught me
stuff.
so much. I was like, what?
I look back at it and it was such a fun time.
Yeah, it was.
And then after that, I did that for, I think, just over a year. That was so much fun. But it was time for something new. And then I went into like surgery nursing, like PACU, OR nursing at a plastic surgeon's in town. And that was really fun.
Wow.
But right now, I'm not currently nursing.
So what's the next step?
The next step is, I don't really know. Honestly, I'm in like a part of my life where I'm like in this like gray zone of like, what do I want to do next? And I don't really want to take that leap until I know for sure. Luckily, I have a really supportive partner.
Yeah.
That
we're gonna get to him. He's so
he's so great. I have a really supportive partner who like allows me to like take my time with these kind of things, and I feel really fortunate to be able to do this right now, because I know that the majority of people wouldn't be able to just be like, okay, I'm gonna stop my career and like figure out what I want to do. So I have Josh to thank for a lot of that, but I don't really know what's next for me, to be honest.
Does that scare you? Because I know like as a 30-year-old, whenever I don't know what I'm going to do next, because I have this, I have the brand and all this, but I still am like, what else? It scares the shit out of me. I'm like, oh, I'm getting older, but then I realize like I'm really not getting, I'm not even that old yet.
Right.
Like I still have so much time. So
I feel like when I think about it like too much, I'm like, oh my gosh, like am I wasting my life? Like, what am I doing? But then I just think about like what's making me happy in the moment, and I feel like that's something that is so often like forgotten about, like living in the moment and appreciating the life you currently have and not always seeking something more. Like I feel like in this day and age we're always looking for something more.
It's also social media's fault.
Absolutely comparing your life to somebody else's life,
the curated content online too.
Exactly. Social media majority is fake. So it's like being able to compare yourself to people so easily and like seeing like, oh well, she has a life where, you know, she's constantly out doing stuff, always has a new, you know, coat, purse, new outfit, like it's perfect. Like I think the thing for me is I'm not stressed out about where I am because I'm trying not to compare myself to anybody, and I'm just kind of like appreciating what I have right now.
No, that's great advice too, because whenever I talk to my therapist about feeling lost or like I don't know what's happening, he always tells me, instead of looking at it as you're lost, think of it as you're on an adventure. And I'm like, oh shit, when I think about it like that, it's such a brighter way of seeing it versus, oh, I'm so lost, I'm so stuck. It's no, I'm on an adventure and life is just,
I love that,
gonna happen.
I love that. And
isn't it?
We're 30, like That's young.
Yeah.
It is young.
The whole like, oh my God, you're 30. You don't have kids. You don't have this. You don't have. It's like, no.
No.
Let's everybody calm down.
We have a full life ahead of us. And like.
And we're very fortunate for that.
Yes, absolutely. And so, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I don't feel stressed right now with where I am in my life.
I was going to ask you, like, what advice would you give, like, young girls that probably are stressed about that in their life?
I feel like, oh gosh, that's a hard question.
Well, you said one thing that was great, like practice being present and see the good that you do have in your life. And I feel like with that, things will start flowing.
Yeah, I think that like the older you get to, the more appreciation you have for like loving yourself and like not comparing yourself to other people. Like with social media, it's so easy to be like, she's skinnier than me, she's prettier than me, she doesn't have acne, she doesn't have wrinkles, like her hair is always perfect. I just think it's so important that we like we back away from the comparison and like bring realism to Instagram and social media. I think that's really, really important. Yeah. And so any younger person that feels kind of like lost, everyone has their own story and journey. And your journey is not going to be the same as my journey, but there can both be beautiful stories.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mic drop. Just stop it. Stop the whole conversation right here.
We're done.
No, but it's true because comparison is a thief of joy. Like,
yes.
Social media is it can be real, but it also can be so fake.
So fake.
And people forget that behind those people that do have perfect curated photos and videos, which there's nothing wrong with them posting it. It's just they probably have their own struggles and stuff that they're not sharing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And that's what I think people forget about that part because they just see that perfection. Yeah. Like, I really appreciate that about you, that you just share. Yeah. You and I are very similar in that sense. We just share.
I agree. I agree, but in the same breath, like I still sometimes struggle with my social media. Like, for example, I just went through like an intense acne breakout. Like, so freaking bad. Like I had acne all over my face and like I didn't post on my story for like 2 days just because I felt like so gross and just like ugly. And like it's okay to have those days that you don't feel great about yourself, but it's also the reality. So like I really should have actually been posting through it all.
No, but it's
like
okay.
Show the side of like it's not perfect online.
It really is not. But you got to give yourself grace too, because you have to feel comfortable enough to share that part. Yeah. I think during COVID, I went through I don't know if you saw these pictures. I posted online a few times. So. But I went through crazy acne and pigmentation. Like it was so bad. I couldn't recognize myself anymore. Really? And I was crying every single day. But I was still taking pictures of myself because I was like, it's going to get better. Yeah. I know it is. Yeah. But I was crying so bad that to the point where, you know, like I have Indian parents, so they have no filter. So my mom came to visit me and she was just staring. She's like, no hate to my mom, by the way, please. Like she's just Indian mom. She's just being very emotional. Yes. She saw me. She's like, when I see you, I just want to cry. Oh, and
you're like, thanks.
I was like, me too. Like, me too. Like, why do you tell me to my face? Like,
my god!
Like they just make it seem like you're not looking at yourself.
Right. You're like, I can see it.
I see it every fucking day. Like, yeah, I cry too.
No, I was literally FaceTiming my mom the other day, and I was like, I'm just going through a really bad acne breakout right now. She's like, yeah, I noticed it the other day. I'm like, thanks.
They're literally
thanks, Mom.
Brutal. I love my mom, but Mom, you're so brutal sometimes.
They'll always be honest with us, though.
Yeah, but way too honest. Like sometimes it's like, can you hold it back?
One time, okay, so back at the beginning of college, my very first year of college, I gained 30 pounds. Like it just like packed on me really quickly. The stress of everything and like not eating healthy, not working out. And I remember I'd go home and my mom would be like, you just don't look like yourself, Lauren. And I'm like
they won't say it, but they'll just say something else, right? Indirectly.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't feel like myself, to be honest, but thanks, Mom.
No, they're brutal. They're brutal. But no, when my mom kept telling me, I kept taking the pictures still, crying.
Yeah.
And now I let that pass for a while, and then like 6 months later, 7 months later, I started sharing because I couldn't share in the moment. I felt too ugly. I felt too horrible about myself. I was like, I don't want to share this, but like you said, like those are the moments.
Those are the real moments.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
your skin looks amazing.
Thank you.
Right now.
It's getting so much better. Oh my god!
Like it looks
took 3 years.
So
What
good.
4 years since COVID. So
you look beautiful.
You've
always been beautiful.
No, you have.
In my like.
Stop it. Do you know what? I do appreciate you. You always made me feel so beautiful.
Oh.
From the very beginning I met you, like I don't know, there's just this energy about you. Are we gonna cry now?
No. Don't cry. No crying allowed.
No, like for real, you have a really good energy about you, and I think that's why we just got along so well.
That's really sweet of you to say. Thank you.
It's really hard to find people like that.
That's really sweet.
Like you don't see anyone past like you don't look at them and be like, oh, you're ugly, or you literally see people for their soul, for their heart, and
thank you.
That's how I strive to be in life.
And that's the nicest compliment anyone's ever given me in my life.
God, really?
Yeah.
No, but it's true.
That's the type of person that like,
are we gonna cry? Oh my god, I knew it. I cry. I make everyone cry every episode.
I just.
It's okay.
I'm an ugly crier too.
Me too.
I just feel like growing up, my mom always taught me to like support other women.
Yeah.
And like women are our sisters.
Yeah.
And I always want to be someone that other people feel like, oh gosh, I don't even have any tissue.
Oh my god, I don't have tissues either.
That really means a lot to me because I want to be someone that women feel supported by, and like someone that they can feel like they can come to and talk to, and you know, just your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know you, like I want you to feel like I'm not going to tear you down. I'm going to build you up. And so that really means a lot that you said that to me.
It's true though. Now you're making me cry. But you've always built me up, even on those times when I would come in. This was like 4 years ago, but I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I would always share with you like the struggles of my life at that time with my parents or anything that was going on, and you were always there for me. Oh my god, why are you doing this to us? But it's true. Like I think during that time you taught me how to build not only other people up but myself, and it was really important. I think that's why you've always had a special place in my heart.
You're so sweet.
And we haven't even seen each other for like 4 years.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. We just saw each other like for
at
the
an
first
event.
time. I know.
Which was crazy.
Which is so okay, let's touch on that because I feel like we saw each other and it was like we were like,
it was like
okay, so like
what are you doing? What are you doing?
yeah. Like it honestly
amazing.
felt like no time had passed.
No. I just also because you started your Instagram, which everyone go follow, watch Lauren run.
If you want to see me run.
See her run, but also like just how you just bring happiness every single day on my feed. Oh, and I know some people tell me that, and I didn't know the meaning of that until like I saw you on my feed all the time. I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like, you know?
You're so sweet.
And you're just so full of energy, full of life, and so
most
hilarious.
of the time. I feel like some days I'm like, ugh.
Well, I feel like that's all of us, right?
Yeah.
But no, 90% of the time, you and your husband are hilarious, and I just enjoy that.
I love Josh. He's great.
He's amazing.
He is something special.
He's so funny.
Isn't it like weird though, like when you find the person that you're meant to be with, it just is like, oh,
yeah,
this is what it's meant to feel like.
Yeah. After being in so many failed relationships or situationships, you're like, oh, this is what it feels like to be treated nicely.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's also like, he's just my best friend.
Yeah.
Like we are just constantly laughing. We're constantly like doing goofy stuff. If you follow me, you know. Yeah. But like, I'm constantly picking on him. Yeah. He's constantly picking on me.
That's the thing. Like, if you're not bullying your partner, that ain't it.
That's not.
I was literally telling Shay that yesterday. I was like, you're my best friend. And I was watching this video of this girl saying, everyone's all like, oh, my partner's so kind to me. So
no.
No. If you aren't bullying each other, if he doesn't say something that triggers you, yes, then that ain't it. Because you're like, oh man, you triggered me, but I still fucking love you.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong what you said.
And you like know how to trigger the other person. So you're like,
just press on every single trigger.
Yes.
But it's like not like the crazy triggers. It's like those little triggers.
Yeah.
Those things that only you two know, and you're like, really? Like,
yeah. Yeah, back off, bitch.
For real. So how did you were never a runner, right? Before?
Never. Okay. No. I hated running.
Because you were always lifting and stuff when I first met you. So
yes.
That's why when you started to watch Lauren run, I was like,
who is this girl?
No, I knew who you were. But I was like, what the heck? When did she get into running?
Gone into her.
So
that's what I thought about myself.
Let's get into that. How did you... Is it because of COVID?
Yeah. So what happened?
You're like, I'm bored. I got to do something.
Well, so before COVID started, I was going to Orange Theory. And like, I was doing it every day.
I remember.
And it was so much fun. And I probably was in like one of the best shapes of my life. And then COVID hit and I was like, well, Orange Theory's done for the foreseeable future. And so I was like, what am I going to do to like not gain that 30 pounds again that I gained in university? So I was like, well, I guess I can just go for runs. So I just started running. I sound like Forrest Gump. I just started running.
Run, Lauren, run.
And it was like, I just had a goal of like, okay, today I'll do 3 miles. The next day I'll do another 3 miles. And the next day I'll try 4 miles. Like, and then it just started to build on itself.
Did you teach yourself?
I did zero research.
Okay.
Which was probably really stupid.
But like if there's like runners listening or wannabe runners, what did you learn? Teach yourself, but tell yourself.
So what I learned was get a good pair of running shoes.
Yeah.
Like get fitted for a really good pair of shoes.
What are your top 3 favorite running shoes?
I really like the Asics Nova Blast. Mm-hmm. I'm a really big Asics fan right now. I really like the Asics. Wow, I'm having a brain fart.
It's okay. I'll send them to your page to look at. Asics. Are they all top 3 Asics? Hashtag Asics sponsor us.
Saucony has a really good running shoe. I'm terrible with shoe names. I'll be honest. Okay. I'm the worst like running influencer. I'm so bad with shoes.
No, you're amazing. We don't talk down on ourselves.
Okay, Saucony has a really good race shoe too that I have at home, but I don't know the name of it.
Okay. So then you started running.
Yes, started running.
3 miles, 4 miles.
Yeah, and then I thought it'd be fun to like bring my dog with me on my runs, but she actually hates running. She hates it.
She's a cutie.
I took her on, she is. I took her on 1 5-kilometer run once, and that was it.
She
was
stopped?
like, I'm forever scarred. Yeah. She literally will not run with me, Karishma. She will.
What did you do to her?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It was like I tortured her. And so.
What happened? Like she just started laying down on the floor?
So she finished the 5-kilometer run, and then like the next time I tried to take her on a run, she would just stop. And she wouldn't even walk. This. And then I would try to be like, okay, come on, let's go for like a little bit down the street. No. And she knew where our house was in the neighborhood. So like she would refuse. And she's smart enough to know that like if she just refuses, and I'm eventually going to go home. So we just go home. I would just let in. I'd be like, okay. So she doesn't run with me anymore. Okay. At all.
She's
traumatized. I mean, I don't blame her. Like, running's a little traumatic.
It is. And you always tell me to come with you. And I was like, I'll walk fast.
That's about as fast as I run. So yeah, then I just started running more and more. And then, so I was running through 2020, 2021, 2022. And 2022, I was running like a lot. But then I looked back at 2022. It was actually New Year's Eve. And Josh and I were looking back at 2022 and we were like, what have we accomplished this year? And we were both kind of like, well, we did XYZ, but then we have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I got the idea of starting my Instagram page, actually, was I was like, well, if I start like videoing myself and just like whatever, putting videos out there, I can at least look back and like see how many runs I've done and like, you know, just have something to reflect on for 2023. So I was like posting every single day in 2023, like up
awesome.
until like my wedding up in September. And yeah, that's kind of how the page started.
And then you did some crazy marathons. What was okay, so you did Rome.
I did Rome and I did I did the Austin Marathon first.
And then Rome.
And then a month later I did Rome Marathon.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like you did it a month later.
Yeah, that was a little psycho of me.
I don't expect anything less from you, though.
Right? And the Rome one was so hard. It was, I don't know if you saw at the time, but I was like sick at my best friend's wedding like 2 days prior. And I was like vomiting, projectile vomiting at her wedding from like a food bug, like not alcohol related. And I was so dehydrated before that marathon that I was like, I don't know if I can even do this run. And I remember the night before I was like crying and I was like, Josh, I don't know if I can do this, but I feel like there's so much pressure on me to do this because like I have followers now. And I just freaking did it. It wasn't fun.
Well, how'd you feel afterwards?
Terrible.
Oh, man.
I felt like shit.
Don't ever get pressured by the followers. You gotta do it for yourself.
I mean, looking back, I'm happy I did it. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
I mean, running through Rome is like an amazing experience. Like you're running through the Vatican. It's like no other marathon. But in the moment, I was like, fuck my life.
Have you done another one since?
I haven't done another one since. I've done a half marathon, but I haven't done another full marathon yet.
Are you trying to?
I have one that I'm potentially doing.
We're not allowed to share?
It's not like firmed yet.
Is it in the country?
Yes.
Okay.
It would be in the United States. Yes. I actually really want to do the Toronto Marathon though. In Canada. I feel like that would be
that would be really awesome because it's like your country.
Like
you know?
my stomping ground.
Yeah.
And it's like right along the river or the lakeside.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a river, it's a lake. And so like it'd be beautiful in Toronto.
What time of the year is it?
I believe it is in October. I think it's in October.
Is it cold during that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like kind of cold and gross.
I could never move to a cold place. I don't think it's
girl
for me.
Don't do it.
I don't think I ever going to.
No.
Just don't do it. I don't know where I'm going.
Well, you're from California, so like you literally never lived in a cold
California, place. Then spent time in India, then back to California.
Amazing.
Then
How much
here.
time did you spend in India?
Remember I went to boarding school for like 3 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was traumatized.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's what we bonded on. Yes. That's what we started talking about.
Yes.
Ooh, I just had it. A whole deja vu moment.
Where was that boarding school?
It was in India, Gujarat, the state of Gujarat. A little, like 3 hours from Mumbai.
Okay.
But 2 hours from where my family is from in India.
Okay.
But it was like this small little city, Gilappardi. That's what it was called.
Really?
It is called. But the school's name is called Vallabhashram. But yeah, I spent 3 years. I think 3 prominent years of my childhood. 10, 11, 12. Well, I went at 10, 11, 12, 13.
Those are like the most awkward years of your life.
And it was the most like, isn't that when you remember everything?
Yes.
Like that's when your brain is starting to develop memories and
yes,
those hardcore stuff. So that's where my anxiety and depression began at the great age of 11.
That's hard.
It was so sad.
That is so hard.
It is.
Do you have any friends still from that time?
I do have some friends, but unfortunately I was so traumatized by it that it's not their fault, but I just didn't want to keep in touch with anyone. It has nothing to do with anyone but myself. I just was so deeply traumatized. I didn't want to remember.
It was like a time of your life that you were just like,
yeah,
it's gonna stay there.
But I've connected with a lot online, and some of them have reached out. We've chatted and
Really?
rekindled a little, and
Are they still over in India?
yeah, some of them are in India, some of them are out in the States, and so yeah, I see them thriving on Instagram, social media, but that's about it. I literally it was so, at that time before I even started therapy, I just was like, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
But then I started healing, and then I started connecting, and I was like, I'm so sorry if I was like a little shit. I was going through a really hard time.
No, that's I just can't imagine like being a time in your life where it's like so awkward. You're like developing and your body's doing these weird things, and then like you're away from your family, and like I don't know like what India is like in terms of like females and acceptance of females, like
well, it was an all girls school, so that part wasn't too bad. Yeah, but I also like when I got there, 1 month later I started my period. 11 years old, right when I turned 11, like a month later I started my period. And fortunately I didn't know what to do. My sister, she's older, blind, so when she started her period I was like 7, so I would help her.
Yeah, good.
You know, so then I already knew what to do.
Yeah.
It just sucked because I was like, damn, I don't have my mom. I don't have anyone.
Gosh, Karishma, that's hard.
It was so hard. But we made it through.
But you know what's funny is like I look back at like people that are that age now, like 11, 12, 13, and I'm like, you look like you're like 17.
Yeah, they're like have full makeup, full glam. They have really cool outfits on.
I'm like, why aren't you going through the awkward, ugly stage?
Yeah, I was like, if I pull my pictures out, even my high school pictures.
Okay, I have a funny story.
Tell me.
Okay.
Tell everyone.
Okay, this is kind of embarrassing. Okay, so when I was in 7th grade, I still wasn't wearing a bra because I just had no boobs. I still don't really have boobs, but it's fine.
Oh my God.
So I'm in grade 7. I'm wearing this like white Roxy t-shirt. And like, I'm awkward AF. Like, just every summer I'd get my hair cut in like a little bob. My mom would be like, get your summer haircut, Lauren. And I'd get this.
You would have to?
No, I'd be like, oh yes, like a fresh summer haircut. I cut it to here, so like I just like wasn't cute. So I'm at school one day and I'm braless in this white Roxy t-shirt, and this guy named Nihal Garaj, he goes, I can see your nipples. And
in a white shirt?
Yes. And I was in science class like and like imagine like 7th grade, this boy tells you
weren't wearing anything underneath.
No, I had no bra on. He tells me he can see my nipples. I'm like mortified.
Yeah, 7th grade is.
You're so awkward.
Yeah, you're like also trying to learn about yourself too.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay. I had to like go the rest of the day, like knowing that these boys could see my nipples through my white
and you had a bob, so you couldn't even cover it.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we can like bond over our
awkward trauma stages. But I also had no boobs either for a really, really long time until like I think college, because I started gaining weight and started going to the right places for a little bit. And then everyone was like, did you get a boob job? I was like, no, dude. I'm older now. I know I was flat like a pancake, but like,
my boobs just grew.
They just grew. Like, what do I do?
I love it.
Have you seen my mom? Like,
does she have big boobs?
Yeah, she has nice. I like how this turned into a boob talk.
Hey.
She has nice boobs. Yeah. I don't want to talk about her too much.
Does she listen to these?
I feel like she listens sometimes.
Maybe she won't get this far into the podcast.
She'll be like, oh, they're just talking about trauma. And then she listens. Yo, Roshni, they were talking about your boobs.
I actually love it.
Oh my God. So going back to your running though. Yeah. I did have a question to ask.
It's nice having small boobs while I'm running, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
Nice.
Because even when I'm on the treadmill, I'm like, I don't have that big boobs, but I can still feel, you know?
Like, any little bit there.
It just hurts.
Yeah, I know. But I don't have that problem.
But is it because of the running? that
No, I've
lost?
never had, no.
Oh, okay. That you lost so much weight.
No, actually, I feel like I've been doing more push-ups lately.
Oh, good
because
for
I've
you.
been like doing more like running, but then I also do like
Strength.
HIIT
Yeah.
and strength classes just to like balance everything
Yeah.
out. And I feel like my boobs actually have gotten bigger, but it's just because I have more of a pec underneath now.
It's the push-ups,
So it's
ladies.
actually so like now when I'm running, I'm like, oh, I have boobs.
Oh my god, I can't wait to listen to this episode. Oh my god. Went from tears
I know.
to trauma to
I know.
to
I'm a boobs. Talking about your mom's boobs.
Why do we have to bring it up again? Oh my god. But that's how you balance it out. You run a lot, but you also strength train.
Yeah, so I started strength training. I don't even know if I'd call it strength training. It's just kind of like balancing out. Like I'm taking classes at the Lifetime I go to now. And so there's classes called extreme classes. There's GTX classes. And so like a GTX class, you do some running on the treadmill, but then you also do floor work like bicep curls, like,
Yeah.
you know, more weight oriented stuff. And then extremes a HIIT class. So it's a lot of like weightlifting and stuff. I'm just trying to balance it out more because
Yeah.
I feel like with running, I ran so much in 2023 that I probably wasn't like, I mean, it's so like running, it isn't great for your knees. Let's be real. I was like, I need to do other things to strengthen other areas of my body so that I can maintain this healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
If all you do is run and you don't balance your body out, then it's gonna go downhill. And my dad actually, he ran like when I was growing up. He'd always be in the basement on the treadmill running. And he needs a double hip replacement now, which he's been putting off.
Is it because of the
forever.
treadmill or just because of the running?
They attribute it to running. So like I know I have that like on the back burner in my genetics that could potentially be an issue down the road. So I think 2024, I was like, took a step back and was like, I need to respect my body a little bit more, and like understand that like I might not be a marathon runner forever, but I can do other things that are healthy. And make me
Because
strong.
I've always been so interested in that because I see you run and I also see other people run and I'm like, damn, how do they balance it out? Because I know running, first you can lose a lot of muscle mass.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And of course you can lose fat too, but a lot of muscle mass can get lost, and it's I don't know if that's healthy for your full body.
Right, exactly. So that's why I'm trying to like just find a little bit more of a balance. You know, like making sure I'm getting enough protein in my diet has been big. I don't eat a lot of meat. So like I'm in, you know, legumes, beans, fish. I love tofu.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
trying to
love
like make sure that I'm like as balanced as possible.
Well, that's good.
So,
And right now you have lots of time to do that for yourself.
Exactly.
I
When
love
I'm
it.
jobless, I have a lot of time on my hands.
And you get
It's been great.
you get to be present. How long has it been since you
Since I quit my job.
Yeah.
It was back in October. So
last year?
yeah, it's been a few months, and it's been great though.
Yeah. Was that job just taking a toll on you?
No, I actually loved that job. It was like the best nursing job I had ever like worked in. I loved all my coworkers were amazing. It felt like a job that I was going in and doing the exact same thing every single day.
And it was getting a little boring, repetitive.
Right. And I also got the mindset of like, I'm working for somebody else to make them profitable and to like make them succeed. Like, what can I do every day to make myself succeed?
Yeah.
Because like the reality is if you're not working for yourself, then you're never going to be like super successful.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like mentally too, you're always going to be answering to someone else.
Yes.
And I don't know if
It's hard for me. Like
Yeah.
me as a staff, I feel like I'm probably like a hard person to manage just because I am very strong-minded.
Yeah.
And I don't take shit. So if like someone tells me to do something or like change something up, I'm always like, but why? And then like give me like 10 reasons and then I'll do it.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I think like having the opportunity to like not work for anyone right now is like nice.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I hate being told to do things, but I also think that comes with like privilege that I've had to not been working so much, and I'm very, very grateful to my parents, but I'm also like, God damn, I wish you guys pushed me to kind of just go get a job, because when I did get a job after I moved out at 25, it was my like first real job with corporate, and it was so horrible. 'Cause I was like, I don't like this.
It's hard though.
I don't like being told what to do.
And like when you feel like you're one of the minions that are just like one of the many people that are like working a job like that you don't really matter, you're just trying to get like a task done, like doesn't that make you just like feel kind of shitty?
Yeah, and they're not really nice. Like, well, when I was working, they just weren't really nice to me. So
yeah, good thing you got out of that. How long were you there for?
I was there for almost 8 months, and then I was like, okay, I think
8 months too long.
8 months too long. Even though, like, God, I'm so fortunate. Before that, I was working for my dad at some of our hotels, or his hotels, and I was doing front desk and stuff.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, that was not fun. But
really, you didn't like that?
I didn't like front desk. I was also not in like the greatest area, so it was a lot of different clientele.
That'll make a difference.
Yeah, and it was also near a college and partying, and I was young, but I didn't feel like talking to anyone.
Yeah,
you know?
You weren't like wanting to like be like, hey, welcome.
Yeah. So I did that for a while. Before that, I was a tutor for kids.
Really?
Yeah, I was a bad tutor.
Were you?
Why did anyone hire me as a tutor?
You're like, why did anyone?
Why did you guys do this?
Wait, what were you tutoring?
I was tutoring math, but like algebra that I could do. I could.
Oh
do
my
algebra.
god!
I know, like, why? And then Gujarati to kids who wanted to learn Gujarati, which I'm really good
cool.
at.
Yeah,
I can read and write and stuff.
That's awesome.
But that I did that for a couple years. It wasn't like consistent pay, but it was still making me go do stuff.
Right.
And I did it because my friend encouraged me, because he was also a tutor at the time, and he was like, why don't you do this? Because I was complaining about how I don't have cash. And I was like, come do this.
Yeah.
They're looking for people.
I love that.
I was a really bad math teacher though.
You're like, sorry to anyone that learned math from me.
Yeah. Hey, but he passed. He had a D, and then he passed with a B, so I feel like we did something there. Shout out.
Good job, Karishma.
He graduated high school.
Only because of me.
Because of that math.
I love that. That is so awesome.
And then I quit everything, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this full time. But it's a struggle.
How's that been going?
It's been okay.
Yeah?
Like sometimes it's like really great, and then there's like a really dry period.
Mm-hmm.
But Shay and I are also in real estate right now, so that's been really fun. So, yeah.
Isn't it exciting when you have like your own business adventures?
Yeah.
To like
A lot of risk.
Oh,
a lot of stress,
a lot of
but
reward,
also
though.
a lot of reward, a lot of excitement. And also, like you said, when you have a partner that supports you,
yes,
it makes a really big difference.
Oh yeah.
And he's also so fucking great. Like, he supports me. He, like today, he's like, he takes interest in this part of my life. And I've met a lot of people.
That.
Yeah, and I've met a lot of people in my circle, in my family, extended and all, and they just don't get it, or they don't even try to. And I understand social media is very complex, and they don't understand what it is. So when I tell them like, oh, I'm a content creator, I don't even say influencer, because
I feel like there's
I
a
get
negative
scared.
connotation attached to
because everyone's like influencer, ill, but it's like, how, that's another thing. Like, how do I find joy and pride in being one, but I don't know how to share that because everyone sees so much negativity towards it.
I know.
Because there are influencers that aren't great.
Yeah.
But not everyone's like that.
Okay, so here's a question for you. When I first started my page, I was gonna say influencing, but when I just first started my Instagram page, did you find on yours that the people you expected to support you the most were the least supportive?
Oh, yeah.
And the people that like you didn't expect support from at all were the ones that were like, what are you doing? This is amazing. Like, I'm here to support you.
Yep.
Like, I had close family members, Krishna, unfollow me.
I've had that happen.
And then I literally reached out to them and I was like, oh, why'd you unfollow me? Follow me again.
You're so funny. Stop.
Because I'm gonna call them out.
I didn't even call them out. I was like, well, I'm not for everyone, so
Yeah. No,
but I like your way.
I'm like, hi, I saw you unfollow me.
Why?
And they said, well, you changed your name on Instagram, so I wasn't sure it was you. I said, oh, well, it's me. You can follow me again.
No, but it's true. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that question you asked me, because I did have a lot of when I first began KP Fit Style, like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. I had friends, and they're still my friends. I'll never say who, but I had friends in my life that would be really embarrassed to be out with me.
What?
Because I would like start taking pictures, or like I'll be like, oh, I need this for. I just started taking content videos.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't get it, so they would make fun of it. They would make fun of me or be embarrassed to be around me, and now they love who I am.
And now they're supportive.
Now, kind of,
Okay.
like blind supporters, but
like,
also like I'm gonna support her. Like if someone asks them, oh yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah.
But not to my face, if that makes sense. I don't know why.
So
I'm not very close to these people.
I had people from my high school that reached out to me when I first started posting my running. Because, like, I admit, like, when I was, like, running...
Just checking the time, making sure.
Okay. When I was, like, posting every single day, I get it. Like, it could be a little annoying to, like, see me on your feet every fucking day.
Yeah.
But, like, there were people that I, like, barely talked to in my high school that, like, said the nicest things to me. And there are some people still that, like... I barely really knew that well, and like will say the kindest things to me. And it's like, do you find that like when people reach out that you're like, oh my gosh, like that's so sweet, like
hell yeah,
it just like it means more than people realize.
Yes, it means the world to me.
Yeah.
The other day, this mom reached out to me, and she was like, I really appreciate what you do. And I know how important mental health, like you always talk about mental health, and because of you, I want to like send my daughter to therapy. Can you give me advice? And it's just like those kind of messages. It's like you're like, okay, so I am doing something in the right direction. And then someone else, I was at the gym, and shout out to this person. I went to the gym, and this person was like, your energy is amazing. And that's the best compliment I feel like anyone can give to anyone, and it's the energy. Because energy is rare. So if you have good energy,
I agree.
It's like...
I agree.
That was like my favorite compliment I've had in a really long time.
I love that.
And I think that's like the beauty of it.
I love that. I think you need to know that like you are someone that's like very special and someone that I've always looked up to.
Stop.
And no, I'm not even kidding. Like when I started my running page, like I would look at your page and be like, okay, what is she doing? Like how is she engaging with people? Like what's like you have been such a huge inspiration for me. And you need to know that, because I just think the world of you.
Oh my God.
And when you asked me to come on this podcast, like, did you realize how quickly I said yes?
Yeah. I was like, first I was like, she's not going to say yes. Because, I second guess myself all the time. But I was like, what can I lose by asking?
It was like literally the same minute.
And you're like, yes. I was like, fuck yes. I knew I could count on you.
Yeah. But no, you seriously are an amazing woman, and you inspire so many people.
Stop.
Both men and women. Yeah, you do.
No, I really appreciate that, and same goes to you. Like you inspire me on the daily, and I'm sure you inspire so many people. I see the people that you run into, they take photos with you, like it's so sweet. Like I feel like we don't have like 500,000 followers or anything, but
I'm losing followers actually.
I am too and that's okay. But the people that are there to stay, I think we're making a bigger impact than we know.
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit, because I feel like when we do give ourselves credit, people probably will feel like, oh, they're so into themselves. No, it's just you're doing a really good job, and
yeah,
you got to take a moment to give yourself some.
I love that. Yes.
A little.
Yay to us.
Yay to us. Yay to every single person putting in the work, showing up, inspiring others. It's a hard thing.
It is hard. It is very hard.
All right, we're almost done. So before we end, I like to ask every single guest, what are a few things you like to do to take care of yourself? Because I know it's different for every single person. Like, take care of your mental health. What are the top 3, like, non-negotiables that you must?
I think the first one would be movement every single day.
Yeah.
Whether I'm on vacation or I'm at home, I need to get some sort of movement in, whether it be a walk, a run, a HIIT workout. That for me, like, just brings me back down to earth and is just like something that makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think, is nutrition and eating properly. When you fuel your body properly, it's going to put out the energy you want and you need, and that would be number 2. And number 3, I think just surrounding yourself with people that you love and you like want to support and feel supported by, and cutting out the fat that's like people that bring negative energy. Just cutting those people out, and then only surrounding yourself with good people, good, supportive, loving people.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so true, all 3 of them. I can't do life without all 3 as well.
No, right?
It's just, it won't be the same.
No, exactly.
Like, and the older you get, you just don't want that fluff anymore.
Exactly.
Like, get out.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again
Thank you.
for being here, for immediately saying yes, and just bringing the vibes. It was a really good episode.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
I hope people are interested.
I hope you guys love it. And if you guys want to see more of Lauren, you can always message me or follow her at Watch Lauren Run, because I watch her run all the time. I had to add that in there.
I love you.
Thank you again. Thank you all for listening, and tune in every Tuesday for new episodes. And remember, it's not selfish to take care of yourself. Love ya.